Hey there, awesome traders. Welcome back to the channel. If you've ever felt like the market is just a wild, unpredictable beast, then you are in for a treat today. We are about to unlock one of the most fundamental yet powerful concepts in trading: support and resistance. Trust me, once you grasp this, your charts will start making a whole lot of sense. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be looking at price with a new pair of eyes. You'll be seeing beyond the charts. So stay with me to the end. Alright, let's dive straight in. What exactly are support and resistance? Now think of them as an invisible barriers on your price chart. Now support is the floor, while resistance is the ceiling. Support is a level where buyers step in and push price higher. Think of it as the floor holding the market. And now, what is resistance? Resistance is the opposite. You know, we have floor and then we have ceiling. Now, resistance is that ceiling where sellers step in to push price lower. That's blocking market from going any more higher. Now, these levels are very crucial because they represent points where supply and demand have previously battled it out, leaving a footprint where price might react again in the future. So now, how do we identify these areas? Now, this is let's take this area as our resistance. I'm just using the line. Support and resistance are zones, not lines, please. But for educational sake, let's use it like this. This is our resistance and this line is our support. Now, this is our area and price gets to resistance, comes back to support, gets to resistance, come back to support, gets to resistance, come back to support. It might even fake out like this, come back, then go back to the resistance, come back, touch the resistance, come again, fake out, come back, touch the resistance, come again. Now, this is what support and resistance is. The support stops the price from going lower. That's where the buyers will step in and say, oh, we don't want this price to go any lower. And then the resistance is where price says, oh, we don't want this price to go any more higher. They will step in and push the price lower. Let's check this. Now, you know, if you've not watched market structure video, please go and watch it, because if you don't watch it right now, you will not understand what I will be doing. Now, you know, this is our swing high and this is our swing low. Now, remember our BOS video. If you've not watched it, also go and watch it so that you understand. Remember, this is our structural level. When taken out, we call it a break of structure. Now, this structural level is our first area of support. Once it's broken, first of all, remember that this was an area of resistance because price got here and the sellers pushed it down. What did we say is resistance? Resistance is a ceiling where price gets to and sellers push it down. Now, what happened here? Price got to this area and sellers pushed it down, making it an area of resistance. But immediately this price breaks above it, you can see price came back here, using it as a support. That tells us that once our resistance level is broken, it becomes support. Let me write it down so that you will never forget it. Alright, always have this at the back of your mind. Once a resistance level is broken, it turns to support. And once a support level is broken, it turns to resistance. Now, you can see this, our resistance level. Immediately it was broken, price went all the way up and then came back, used it as a support, and then pushed higher. This is another resistant area. Remember, it's an area, a ceiling area where if price gets to, sellers push it lower. Now, this also is a resistant area because we had a sharp turn from that area to the downside. Now, what the price will, once price breaks out, it turns it to support, it uses it, and then the buyers tried to take out this high, but they couldn't. What did the sellers do? The sellers pushed it lower, breaking this our, remember, this our previous support, this our previous resistance turned support here. Now it broke it, breaking it to the downside, giving us a change of character, here. After this zone now was breaking, remember this was our previous support. Here it was our resistance, it broke, came back, acted as a support, pushed price higher. But the buyers could not push price to take out this high, and so the sellers pushed it down. Now it will act as our area of resistance. Remember what we wrote here. Once a resistance level breaks, it turns support. That is here breaks, it turns support. Now, once a support level is broken, it turns resistance. This was our support level, and now it's broken. What will happen? Price will come back, retest it, and push lower. And then remember, this was our also previous level of support, or previous level of resistance that turned support. Price still came here, used it as support, and then went to our next area of resistance and broke through this our area of support. Now, what do we expect? We expect first of all that price will use this our area of support as resistance and push price lower, which is what happened. So this is another way to spot your support and your resistance level. This also is another way to spot your, now this could have been like this was a break, and then price took out this high and then pulled back to our support. This could have also been like this is an area, this would have been fake out. Fake outs are when price, like here, here has been acting as a support, and all of a sudden price came below that support. Uninformed traders or FOMO traders, they would have entered their sell here, thinking that price will just retest this area and push price lower. But no, what happened? Price just came, retested, pushed a bit lower, and then went back inside the chart, went back inside the consolidation. Now, this is our support. This is a fake out. This right here is a fake out. This right here is a fake out. It was not a proper break, and that's why when you are trading support and resistance, you should also use your confirmations, candlestick confirmations, candlestick pattern, or whatever confirmation you use. You can use change of character, market structure shifts, you can use those here also. Now, what happened? Price now broke to the upside, retested, and then gave us another break. Now, these are ways to check for your support and resistance. Now, there's one other way that I like. Remember our structure here. You should know what trend this is. Now, this is another way to identify support and resistance. I love this. I love using trend lines to identify my support and resistance area a lot because it actually helps. So this is another way by joining previous lows and previous highs together. You will notice the pattern that the market is giving you, and then you will notice the market structure. Like here now, you remember our structure video. Here is a break of structure. That's our swing high taking, another one taking, another one taking. Do you get? It's showing you that whenever price gets to this line, there is always a rejection. Sellers will always step in to push price lower. So as price is here now, what do we expect? We expect for the sellers to push it lower before we get another push to the upside, or if we get a break, we can get a break from here, and then we get a retest, and then we get more break. Do you get? Now this is breakout. This area right here, where is the call out to? This area right here, here. This is a breakout. This was the support level. We broke out of the support and it retested the support level, and then we didn't get a breakout out of the resistance level. But here you can see we got a breakout of the resistance level, which is here, and then we got a support. So all this, I'm just trying to show you the different ways in which you can get your support and your resistance. It can be in consolidation like this. You should always map those levels out on the higher time frame before you go to the lower time frame. Otherwise you get so many noises on the lower time frame. Everywhere, in fact, everywhere on the lower time frame will become support and resistance. And that's why you see, when you see some people's chart, you see different lines on their chart. It will just confuse you. So let's get practical. Let's go over to the chart, and then let me show you what they actually look like in a real chart. Here on the chart, you can see that we are having these areas that there are multiple rejections. You can see whenever price comes here, this was a fake out, as I explained. This right here, this here was a fake out, and then price moved, closed above it, and then retested that area and moved. And now remember I told you something. Support and resistance, they are zones, they are not lines. Yeah, they are zones, they are not lines at all. You don't use line to draw them. Instead, you use zones. What do I mean by zone? Use your rectangular tool to draw them, something like this. Because if you use a line, price might get there, in fact go way beyond it, and you'll be wondering, okay, this line is supposed to be the support, and no, they are zones. So now you can see this move started from here. You first got here, price pushed it up, and then the sellers pushed it way down. But the buyer was like, no, we want to protect. They wanted to protect this area, this zone, and so they broke above it. They pushed it high. The sellers tried to push it down, but the buyers did not allow it to pass more than this zone. They pushed it higher, and then you can see whenever price gets close to it, you can see the aggressiveness that the price will use to buy. Why? Because the buyers are present and they are protecting that price flow. They are protecting that price floor. They didn't let the sellers to push the price lower. You also notice here the price came all the way down. The sellers still tried their best. We want to break this level, and then buyer said no way, guys. It came, it retested, and then you can see the aggressiveness that price used to buy again. This is an area of interest for any trader, because you notice that whenever price gets to this area, let me add test. So this is our area of support. So you notice that whenever price gets there or gets close to it, like this area, price go close to it, and you see the aggressiveness of the buyers. Also here, when sellers try to push it, you can see here, when it got here, you can see the aggressiveness of the buyers. Same thing with when it touched this zone. You can see the aggressiveness that the buyers use to push the price higher. So this right here is an area of support that any trader, if you had, let's say after you saw this and then it came here, you saw this retest, of course you should know that, yeah, this is an area that price has always used to push price higher. So if you had just putting your zone here, covering probably this low I'm seeing right here, covering, or you can cover the entire low. Yeah, not the entire, cover this low. Cover this low, and then probably target this area of liquidity, all this. We'll talk about those areas, just target them, and then once it hits, you're out of the market. You can also target this, but you should just, you will definitely follow your market structure. Right here, you can see it still came to that zone again. In fact, this is easy money. See, I'm telling you, it's easy money actually. But the thing is that you might not identify it because you don't know support and resistance. You see, he came to this zone, he went up, then he retested. This retest is where we are interested. Once he retested, oh my God, what are you waiting for? Put in your two, your SL here, your TP here. And then just imagine this is 1 to 4, almost 1 to 5. This is 1 to 5. Let's say 1 to 5 for both of them. And that is 10 RR just from your support and your resistance, guys. Some people say support and resistance don't work. And they look you, they laugh. You can see the way price respected the support areas and bounced off from there. That's a typical support. Now, also, if you notice something up here, you will notice that whenever price gets here, there is always a rejection. I don't know if you noticed that. Whenever price gets to this area, there is always a rejection. Price came from here, it rejected, it pushed it down. It still tried again to push it up, it rejected, it came all the way down. Then we got a fake out, and then sellers pushed it all the way down here. No, they pushed it here. They first pushed it low here, but they see these rejections here, signifying that no, the sellers are more active than the buyer because the buyer could not push it higher. So the buyers tried to push it here, it's still rejected because the sellers were very active, and then price came all the way down. And then you will notice mainly price got here, there was still tiny rejection before a fake out, and then we got push down here. Then another retest. Can you see how many times this area is actually rejecting price? And then we got another push down until price finally broke above, retested, and then we got a massive run until price finally pushed above, and then we got a massive run. So this, my dear friend, is support and resistance. Now, another way you would have traded this here, you can see I told you about drawing lines. I'm trying to now this line right here. Make sure that the first to draw this line correctly, you are more interested in this your first zone, connect your first zone and your second zone. You're more interested in connecting these two zones first. Every other thing should follow those two. Do you get? Make sure that the line touches your first and your second area. Once it's touched, every other one should follow. Now you can see what price did here. Sorry, hold on, give me a minute. Let me delete some of these things. Yeah. Now you can see what price did. Immediately price came, use this as support, and it came up, came down. Use it again as support, came up, came down. Use it again as support, went all the way up, and then broke through from here, retested, see the tiny retest, and then pushed lower to our support. So you should have known that okay, oh, you should take profit here, because unless there are signs that this support level is going to break, if not, you should just take profit from here. That means if you were to trade this, you would have put your prediction to, you would have put it, you use the candle that broke out, put your low after that candle, and then target this support. This is 1 to 4 RR. Very easy, very neat to use it. So those are different ways that you can trade support and resistance. Let me see for somewhere else. Okay, I've even seen, I've not even gone too far. Now this is another area of support that I am seeing. You can just see it with your naked eye that, oh, okay, price is always doing something whenever price gets to this zone. Price is always doing something whenever price gets to this zone. Now you can see here, price rejected from here. That's our ceiling until price broke above it, broke all the way up, and then came back, used it as support, faked out a bit, and then went back up. Then, before price broke through it, use it as this is a retest, use a retest, and then went lower. You can see then now here it acted as a resistance. Here it acted as support. This area it acted as support. Here it acted as a resistance and pushed price lower. And then what happened next? Price came back. It still resisted the price, pushed it lower, but the sellers could not take out this low. So what happened? The buyers stepped in. The sellers were still very active, trying to protect this level from being broken, but the buyers were more active and then they pushed it lower. And that's when that area started to act as our support. That's when that area started to act as our support. If you notice, that is the same area that this guy here came to retest as support before closing above this other support. So these things are very, very easy to see on the chart. And also, if you look here, you can also draw this. See, what did I tell you? Let the first and the second connect properly, then the others can find their way. Just make sure the first and the second is confirmed. So imagine here, you know that once this once this area is touched, that buyers always step in. Once this area is touched, buyers always step in. Once this area is touched, buyers always steps in. What will you do? Once you've noticed first, second, you wait for the third touch. Once the third touch come, you join the buyers and you buy. And then it came again, another touch, you join the buyers and you buy. These things are areas of support and resistance. Some traders still trade just support and resistance till date, and they are making their money from this market. People should stop. You don't need to complicate things. You just make it easy. Make it very, very easy. Very, very easy. Here also, I can see this trend. Okay, this is not properly drawn. Okay, so you can also see this trend here. Now, this is one. This is the second one. So what would you wait for? Just gently wait for the third touch. Now the third touch came because they know buyers will be waiting there. Especially we retail buyers. The buyers, those institutions, they always like to chop our $10, use it as liquidity to buy. So we are the liquidity in the market. So you have to be wise. That's why you wait for a retest before you jump into the trade. Now this area, this was a fake out. They faked it out to all those that trade breakout and retest. Now this was a breakout. This was a retest. They would have shorted there and then they will use them as liquidity for the buys. But if you are look carefully, you notice that it's close. In fact, the massive push that the buyers used to close inside wouldn't even have allowed a reasonable trader to trade because this is like a bullish engulfing here. Do you get? So sometimes when you are expecting a buy and then there was a breakout, make sure that you look for other confirmation entry. And again, this was a mini support that has refused to break. So even if you traded the support and the resistance, let's say you took not buy, let's say you took the sell right here, your stop loss of course below this, and then you're targeting whatever you're targeting here. Now you see that price is dealing with this mini supports here and it's not breaking. What should you do? Either you break even because you don't know what the market wants to do, either you break even or you close your trade until this zone is broken. And if you wait, if the zone gets broken, just wait for a retest and then sell. These things are simple. He gave you sign. The buyers gave you sign that They don't want the price to go lower than this area. So you would have saved yourself unnecessary loss. But I know some people, they will hold it, it's going to sell, break out and retest. You have to add sense to whatever you are learning, you get. And then what did they do? They pushed it higher all the way up. So these are just areas, these are ways to, I've showed you horizontally, I've showed you vertically, I've literally shown you um how to identify support and resistance and practically how to trade them. Just look for the breakout candle, the candle that broke that area, and then put your stop loss just beneath it. Like here, this breakout and retest, this would have been once you retested. Oh, Heavenly Father, this right here, and then your stop loss will just be a little bit above the candle, targeting your next low or your next support zone. This is 1 to 8 hour. Simple, clean, easy. Do you get? And there you have it. Support and resistance. They are cornerstone of technical analysis that can seriously elevate your trading game. Understanding these levels help you anticipate market movement, manage your risk, and make more informed decisions. If you found this video helpful, please give a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on my future trading education videos. What's your biggest takeaway from today's lesson? And if you have any tips on identifying support and resistance, drop it in the comments section. I love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and happy trading.